Suzanne's pop.
All right, let's gang together. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the 2023 On Deck season premiere. Yes, we normally do it on a Tuesday. This year we thought we'd try Saturday, kind of see what's going on, so you'll catch us Saturday, noon central. Um, as you can see below me, we got a new face, a familiar face. So he's going to be the rookie of the year for On Deck this year. So Tim Hendricks, how you doing, bud?
It's nice to know that I'm going to be unanimously picked as the rookie of the year. That's cool. I'm all about running unopposed. I'm happy to be here. I can tell you my love for baseball outweighs my knowledge of baseball. So we're going to give everything a shot tonight. And my contract has more peanut M&Ms now.
Yep. And if you guys don't know, you guys can see Tim alongside myself and Chris on Morning Tailgate. You can see also Tim with myself on C2C Rankum. Tim's a Brewers fan, and he lives halfway across the world. So we're glad to have him here. And joining me, like usual, he is the Molina of the C2C crew. He's my Molina, and I'm his Adam Rainwright. So Crispy Bacon, how you doing, bud?
Doing good, and we figured that since MLB is changing up things, we might as well also.
Yeah, a lot of things happened. Old faces, and new places. People gone, but we're going to start with the MLB. We're going to start with the World Baseball Classic. I've seen highlights. I know there's a couple big stories coming out of there. So far, Chris, what have you seen with the MLB or the baseball classic?
Big crowds, but last couple of days, I think there was a big injury. And knowing fans that they probably want it either moved, like to a different month, or just cancel it altogether. Hopefully, just moved if you're wanting to change things up, but. Injuries happen, and it's kind of in between spring training and the start of the season, so injuries are going to happen.
Yep, exactly. Tim, what about you? What do you think of what's going on in the World Baseball Classic?
I like it. I've always liked it. It brings the world together a little bit. I think it'll if I can't remember if they have it back in the Olympics, but I think we'd lose it I think we will lose that if it ever goes back to the Olympics. But to Bacon's point, I think people want it in a different time spot. I think somewhere during the calendar year would be better. I think we've brought this up on another show. If they were to put it between December and January, I think you don't have to really hurt your spring training rosters. But I think a great idea would be to get everybody ready in a way by doing it in December and January. It's also a nice little respite from the break. I think, but other than that, I enjoy it. You see different faces playing for different countries. I remember the first year came out, everybody was expecting Giancarlo Stanton to play for the United States, and he plays for Italy because his grandfather was an Italian. Yep. And it's nice. Mike Matheny playing for or coaching for Australia because he's from Australia. And I had no clue when he played for the Brewers, but it's nice. It brings back the country pride. I think it just needs to be I think it needs to be put somewhere else on the calendar.
Okay.
Some people thought maybe like, I don't know, a week or two after the World Series, only because you're still, some of the players are still actively playing baseball, and I don't know about in a lot of the playoff teams just finished up. So
That's actually not a bad idea.
So yeah, for me, I mean, I like it. Like Tim said, and Chris, you guys, we get to see teammates playing on opposite teams. We get to see faces that we don't see, from other countries. We get to see what the talent's like in other countries. You get to see Giancarlo Stanton, who thought was going to play for U.S. goes to play for Italy because that's what the rules are. You can play for teams that you have family in, I guess we could say. You guys kind of stole one of my topics for on deck. Or on morning tailgate, we have one tough question, and that was going to be my top question. Was it's kind of a two-parter. Should the World Baseball Classic let major league players play or pro athletes? Let's throw it out there. And should they move the time frame back to between like October and December? So, Tim, I'll start with you. Should pro players play, and should they move? What do you think?
I think they should move it on the calendar. I think Bacon brings up a good point about doing it after a week after the World Series because everybody's still basically in game shape. Mm-hmm. The pro player one, I'm not sure. Maybe you kind of make it like a futures. Maybe if you want to do it, if you don't want to play the MLB guys, maybe you want to bring in guys from AAA, AA, Single A, make it more like a future series. I think that might be a better way to go. It'll definitely get if it doesn't do anything except for put more eyes on the future stars from each of these countries, I think, and they can get a nice base following before they hit the big show.
Okay, I like that idea. Chris, what about you?
No, I like that idea of having it, like a futures kind of thing, similar to like what the NBA does during the All-Star game, but make it like an Olympic style, tournament. But I think also you could use some of your backup players, the players that you don't normally send out.
Yeah.
I think that'll be helpful too.
For me, I think moving it would be beneficial, like Chris said, a week after the All-Star game or after the World Series, I'm sorry. Because players are still in prime. But if they do keep it where it's at, and it sounds like they're going to, I think that if you're under contract or if you're even on the 40-man roster, I think the team should have yes or no say to if they want you to play. If you're a pro athlete, you're a free agent, you're not tied to anybody, hey, more than happy, go play. And go from there. I still think it should be open to the team should have your rights to play. I know it's for your country and it's an honor. But as we saw, Perez goes down. I mean, he's gone for at least. I heard midseason. I've heard some people say the whole season.
With who? With Diaz?
Diaz. Yeah.
Diaz. I heard the whole year.
Is he gone for the whole year?
I heard 6 to 8 months.
Okay. All right. Maybe that's what I heard. 8 to 6 months. I thought maybe, or 6 to 8. Yeah. So, but I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, but it's here. It's baseball. It's kind of like us in football. Yeah, football in the offseason, XFL stuff. Yeah, we'll watch it. It's not the same, but we'll still watch it because it's the XFL.
We're watching it for DiNucci. We're watching football for DiNucci.
That's we're watching football for DiNucci. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to some MLB changes, and the main one I want to talk about, we'll get to in a little bit. But anybody see anything wrong with the bases being bigger? I haven't seen an effect. Maybe people are stealing more, but I know people brought that up as a concern. The other one was the shift. I think some teams have found a loophole in the shift now. They'll bring their left fielder over to cover that rover position. So again, if a team's doing that to me, I'm going to learn to hit the opposite way because now you give me 100 feet on the in left field that's unpatrolled. I mean, is your center fielder going to get there in time to stop me from getting a double? I mean, and then of course we got the pitch clock, but we'll talk about the pitch clock. So Tim, what do you think of so far the rule changes?
If you can find a loophole to get around them, by all means do it. But the thing is, we were always taught in baseball, me, gym class, you guys in Little League, you hit them where they're not. I'm telling you, you drop a what would be a Texas League single in the right field or against the shift, away from the shift. You no longer make that a single. You make that a double because you got to learn to do that. As for the bases, I understand why they did what they did. And I kind of agree why they did it because base stealing went from Ricky Henderson and being this wizard when it comes to stolen bases, and now it just seems like everybody's a little more tentative to steal bases, and they're not making that move. I like that they made the bases bigger, and I'm probably in the minority on that, but that's fine. If you can figure out a way to beat the shift, if you can find a way on defense to make a shift your shift, and then fine, do it. And if the offense you can't figure out a way to hit against the shift, that's your fault.
Yep, exactly. I mean, I'm not for the shift, but again, if that's part of defense, I mean, So Chris, what about you? What do you think about those base changes and the shift changes?
I haven't seen much, many reports on the base changes, being bigger, but a lot. I think it's mixed results on the pitch clock. A lot of players seem to like it, but then you have some that don't. It's just going to be interesting how the regular season's going to go. Seems like what I've heard, it's quicker. It's more of a fast-paced kind of game.
Yeah, they're cutting off about a half hour on the spring training game right now.
I got a question about that pitch clock. All right, with the pitch clock, are you gonna? I know that I get the gist of the pitch clock, but is it going to be something where are we going to see more balks during the regular because pitchers are going to start trying to all of a sudden they're looking at the clock and they see 3 seconds on the clock, and next thing they know they got to get in their wind up and they're screwing their wind up. Are we looking at a possibility of breaking records in balks? Is this a possibility?
That's a good question. Never even thought of that one, Tim. So you're thinking it's top notch this morning.
Well, I know pitchers say that they're going to try to use it to their advantage because they can say, well, I'm going to take as much time as I can.
Yep.
It's like the batter out.
Yep. Yeah. So from what I've experienced, I went to a couple games where the minor leagues here with the Saints. I watched the pitch clock, and it seemed like the pitcher would start his wind up with about 8 seconds left.
That's
so now the batter has to be ready. The question for me, I don't think it's going to make. I mean, granted, we're not pitchers, so the pitchers are going to have to adjust to it. I mean, they're going to have to adjust their routine and stuff to the pitch clock. We possibly will see a couple balks or a couple rush pitches here and there. The batter can't step out of the box as many times as they can. We already saw that with Machado. I think the first preseason game, I think he got called for that. And then a week later or so, we saw the game end with a called third strike on a violation. So I think that's a lot of things where people are going to look at and see what games are going to be affected by this come playoff time and stuff if it's not fixed. And the block thing might be a thing. And again, too, with the pitch clock, I think the rules are that the pitcher has 2 throws over to first that are free. the third time he throws over, he has to get the runner out or the runner gets second base. So, that might be something too where, if I'm a base dealer, he's already thrown over twice. Okay, I might take a little extra lead here on my third attempt here. He starts his windup, I might go, because I know he can't really throw over unless he's going to get me out. So hopefully we get some more stolen bases. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to, is hopefully we get more stolen bases. But yeah, I've heard a lot of relievers don't like the pitch clock because it changes up their momentum. So it's going to get time consuming, and we'll have to check the box. That might be something we might put Tim on to see how many box there are in the first few weeks of the regular season. So, have you guys seen? Is it Scherzer? I think has it. That pitch call on his glove where he calls his own pitches. Have you guys seen that?
No, there's somebody else that has that too. Greinke's got that.
Maybe Greinke. Yeah, I think Greinke got
like,
it.
like a remote thing.
Yeah, it's on the back of his glove, and he'll call
on the back of his glove.
A lot of pitchers are starting to use that now. It's not just him, but a lot of them.
Well,
are.
yeah, because everybody's so worried about them stealing their signs when they're on second.
Right.
Well, the catchers have it too, don't they?
The catchers can call it too, or the catchers will receive it. So that'll be interesting to see how that adapts. I don't know, but I think I saw Scherzer or Greinke, one of the two. They were using it, and they asked him after the game. He's like, "Yeah, something I'm testing out. We'll see how it goes." So.
Well, they were doing some of it was happening last year. That they had a bit of it last year, and
I think towards the end of the year, I think minor leagues were using it or something.
No, there was some major league teams too.
Oh, was there major? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I know the Rangers used it a lot last year.
Rangers had nothing going for them last year.
They were trying everything last year. I know Manny Pena for Milwaukee had it last year. He was calling games. Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about our teams here for a second. Tim, you being the rookie, what's your thoughts on the Brew Crew?
We're not having a great spring training, but then again,
it's spring training.
you don't win championships in spring, folks.
Unless you're the Mets.
Huh?
Unless you're the Mets.
I'm kidding. I said
unless you're the Mets. You can lose the World Series in the World Baseball Classic as we're going to see the Mets. Yeah. It's interesting to see. I know I've seen so many people say it's a toss-up between Milwaukee and St. Louis for the Central. I don't know. It seems like we were going down slowly but surely every year. We got some great young bats. We got this Winker kid that we got from Seattle. We got other stuff that we can use. Hopefully we can get Yelich to play kind of closer to his MVP status. The Luke Voigt. We got a bunch of good young. We got a good young nucleus, but great pitching staff. Just terrible offense. When we can't get the run support for our rotation, but hopefully we can get our head out of our rectum and we can play for a Central title instead of playing for a wild card spot.
Yep, exactly. And hopefully you guys don't make a shocking trade like you guys did last year and just blew up everything. I couldn't believe it. I know I was blowing up your messenger. I'm like, dude, what happened?
It was so nice. We blew up the Padres in the process.
Yeah, and then I blew up Callan, who's a Padre fan. I'm like, what just happened here? He's like, I don't know. I think it's a cap hit because we weren't going to resign him. I'm just like, okay. I was just like, wow. So, Chris, the Rangers. Everybody last year thought they were going to be the team to sweep the AL with all the signings they did, and they went the other way. So, what can we look for with the Rangers this year?
I feel like history's repeating itself in a way because they're kind of saying that now with the signing of DeGrom. But I mean, just besides him, I feel like we got a good roster, and there's a lot of good players coming out of spring training. Seems like a lot of high scoring games from the Rangers. Although, like we said earlier, spring training, kind of like preseason for other sports, but I think it's going to be an okay year. I'm not going to go out saying that we're going to, shock the world, but maybe we'll improve a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Sarge is calling it out. He's already saying the Rangers will not make the playoffs. Sorry, Chris.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, exactly. As for the Twins, I don't know what to say right now. They brought people in. Okay, great, but they didn't, bring people in that I thought could help. Okay, we signed Correa back. I mean, that's another drama-filled issue there. Signs with two different teams, both pass him on the physical and then avoid the contract. I don't know. So
That was a
Correa's back
weird
with the Twins.
series of
Yeah,
events there.
that was weird. Maeda's coming back, so if he could be the ace, I mean, on paper, the Twins, look pretty decent. I mean, the health of Buxton is going to be a big concern. Who's going to play first? Where the rotation's going? How's the bullpen going to be? Do we have a closer? I mean, right now it's up in the air. I can't say I see the Twins putting in a battle. I can't see. I think the Twins are going to stink it up. I think they're going to be right there in the middle in the Central. I think they're going to be, about third or so. I think Cleveland and the White Sox are going to battle it out. So, that being said, before we get into our next topic, any team that you think is going to make a surprise? So, Tim, how about you?
I'm against Sarge on this. I think the Rangers are going to be a little bit of a surprise.
You mean the Mariners?
The Rangers. The
Oh,
Rangers.
you're against Sarge on it. You think this? Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I think the Rangers. I think the Rangers are going to make some noise. They're not. To be honest, except for the Astros, I think the West is pretty wide open.
Ooh, okay. Chris, how about you? A team that might surprise everybody, you think?
Oh boy,
that's
a good question.
I don't think Chris heard you.
Okay. No, I heard.
Oh, I mean, last year definitely was the Orioles. I hope they keep improving. Sarge is saying the Mariners might make some noise. I mean, they finished second, Sarge. I mean, I don't know how much more noise can they make. I mean, unless they win the division. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Texas would be my guess, but I had them picked last year and they kind of disappointed me. So I kind of
don't pick them. Then if I look like a superstar, if I take them and they happen to do what they're supposed to.
I mean, that's key. I mean, I could go. Probably.
It's a rookie mistake. If I get it wrong, it's a rookie mistake.
I mean, I guess I could go with the obvious answer because they finished last. To go, Boston's going to have a bounce back year. I mean, just don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Carolina's or Colorado, I should say, is Colorado. I mean, they have nobody out there.
Oakland's
yeah,
Oakland.
I really hope Baltimore keeps it going. I hope they keep improving because they shocked the world last year. My shocker is Texas finishing better than the Angels. Is that much of a shock there, James? I mean, you being the
Angels are going to right now. You need to more worry about the Angels beating the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, exactly, and what's going to happen with Trout and Ohtani come trade deadline time. So. All right, another little snippet we're going to take away from morning tailgate is Tim's Prime 5. So, Tim, you got a little Prime 5 for us?
I do, and I went with top 5 off-season moves.
All right,
a whole list of them, and
all right.
I went with number 5. I went with the Padres signings Xander Bogaerts, and. I think all it does is just puts another bat in that lineup. It's just the Padres are so stacked. And this is the point where that wasn't the problem with San Diego last year. The problem with San Diego last year was the pitching and getting to the closer. I think Xander Bogaerts is just another long ball guy. I think he's going to be, and I don't know if I would have signed him for 11 years. For $280 million, but I what it does is just puts more protection around Machado and Soto and the others, and This number 4 hurts me a lot because it went to the Cubs. But Cody Bellinger, I'm happy he left the Dodgers. I was kind of hoping he'd go to Milwaukee. But to have him sign with the Cubs for 17 and a half for a year, which is nice because he'll be out. He could be gone in a year and he could go to the Wall Street team over down there in Texas and play for the Rangers in 2024, which would be fine. Get him out of our league. Number 3, and I know it's not a move, but the Yankees re-signing Aaron Judge. I think it was so huge because the entire time is Aaron Judge going to go to the Angels because he's got family in Los Angeles? Is he going to do this? I think Aaron Judge staying in New York really bolsters that lineup to put him back to 1-2 in the East. And the East is going to be so difficult this year.
Yeah.
Number 2 is technically 3 moves in one, and that's the signing of Eovaldi, Haney, and DeGrom for the Rangers. I think after last year with all the movement that the Rangers did and then turn around, and they must be still running off of George Bush's money because they're spending money like they own oil fields. But this can only what the Rangers' problem was last year is they didn't have any continuity. They didn't have any. They were really just all over the place, and it was just really weird to watch. And number 1 kind of is another one that hurts a little bit, but it's the Mets. Mets signing Verlander, Diaz, Senga, re-signing Nemo, and then Quintana. I think the Mets are doing what the Rangers are doing. They're trying to do their best, win today, and the hell with tomorrow. But the thing is, you got Verlander on the end of his career. You got Diaz, who's now out 6 to 8 months. So my number 1 could turn out to be a flash in the pan just because of who's left on the team. They lost DeGrom to the Rangers. They've lost a number of guys, and it's just you have to look at it that way. But to me, the Mets did a lot to try to push past the Phillies, the Braves.
Yep.
I disrespect every other team in that group, the Marlins and the Nationals. Probably Isaiah's 2 other favorite teams. But yeah.
All right, no, that's good. I like that list. DeGrom. I mean, that was a big kicker for a lot of people. I mean, I wish Minnesota would have went after him.
Milwaukee,
but again, as we talk about it, I mean, 11 starts over the last few years because of injury. I mean, yeah, when healthy, I mean, we can say that with a lot of people. When healthy, he's lights out. And there was a meme floating around earlier spring training. Greg Maddux, who's the pitching coach or pitching instructor with the Rangers, was standing next to Grom, and the caption was, I think my arms warmed up because I think we're going to get about the same amount of innings in this year, So, but yeah, I think the Mets, like you said, was tooling up to try to push themselves past the Braves, and I think it might have faltered. So, we got somebody from coast to coast. I'm not sure who it is. But the Rangers' best move the last couple of years was get rid of Joey Gallo, who might be the Twins' first baseman. Who knows? I mean, he's going to play left, right, first, maybe pitch. I don't know. I mean, hopefully he can get his bat and hit above his weight. Would be nice. I mean, better than Sano did. So, all right, guys. So let's get into some predictions here for the season. I know it's kind of early. MLB starts the end of March?
30th of March.
What's that?
About a week or two.
30th of March.
Okay, so we're not going to be too optimistic here. I mean, granted, we already know what the rosters kind of look like. I don't think there's any shockers. I mean, injury is going to play a big part of it, but it's not like, So last year in the NL East, you had the Braves and the Mets technically tied, but the Braves had a better record than the Mets. at 101 and 61, both of them. Philly came in third with 87-75. Miami 69 and 93, and Washington 55 and 107. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Washington win the World Series a few years ago?
Yep.
And they kind of fell off. Okay, it was
I
after
think
they
so,
traded
yeah.
Bryce Harper, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Kind of fell off. So,
Just seeing
Chris,
that.
who do you see winning? Who do you see winning that East there in the NL, Chris?
We'll go Nationals.
Oh, he's gonna go upset there. Oh,
Holy
Nationals.
smokes.
All right. Tim, who do you have winning the East there?
The Braves.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go with the Braves. I think they're gonna be top notch there. Tim, do you see a wild card team coming out of that division there?
Oh, maybe. Oh boy, no.
I think the Phils are going to come. I know Phils are kind of battling with Harper's going to be gone most of the year.
Yeah, I got him on my fantasy baseball team, and he's not expected to come back until after the All-Star break at the earliest.
I'm going to go Phils with the wild card there. Chris, do you have a wild card team coming out of the East? Or last year there was two, so
Let's see. I don't at the moment.
okay, that's fine. We can move on. So we got the NL Central, Tim's division. So Tim, we'll start with you. James is saying Phil will drop it a little. Yeah, possibly. I mean, they're going for the repeat. So, so Tim, in the Central, who do you have?
Milwaukee. Not a homer pick. But Philly. Yeah, Philly's going to win the Central. Milwaukee's going to win the East. Milwaukee.
All right, Chris, do you have who do you think's going to win the Central there? By the way, if anybody doesn't remember, St. Louis won it. Philly came in second, Chicago third, Cincy fourth, and Pittsburgh fifth.
Philly, the Philly Brewers now. Told you.
We'll go with we'll go Milwaukee.
All right, Milwaukee. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think we're gonna clean sweep Milwaukee. Because I think Milwaukee's gonna do it, and I think they're gonna flip flop. I think I'm gonna make a surprise pick here. I think the Cardinals and the Cubs are gonna make the wild cards this year. Out of the,
I got the Cardinals coming out of the wild card spot on that.
Okay, so you got the Cardinals. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, the Cardinals.
Cardinals. All right. So then we move into the West here, which might be, again, one of the best divisions to start the season. Didn't really finish off that way. Last year, you had the Dodgers winning it with the 111 victories, most in NL. San Diego was the wild card. Only finished 22 games out of first place. San Fran was third, Arizona, and then Colorado was fourth. So I'll start. I think San Diego healthy is going to take the West this year. So Tim,
I'm with James. I got the Padres. I think the Padres should. If they don't, then something has gone completely seriously wrong.
Yeah, if San Diego doesn't win it this year, you better believe there's going to be a big dumpster fire offload in the next season or two. So, and yes, the Dodgers have lost a lot of players. That is good. Chris, who do you have in the West there?
I'm agreeing with Tim and James here. Going with the Padres.
All right, going with the Padres. So, I think I have one more wild card spot left. I think
you said Cardinals and Cubs.
Okay, so I'm out of the wild card, so I don't have nobody going.
Bacon. I'm the rookie. Okay. I will let you pick your last wild card first.
No, you got Chris has.
I still have two.
Yeah, Chris has two left. There's three wild card teams.
Oh, there's three wild card teams, so I've got two.
Yep, you guys got two. So I have. So I have nobody in this one. Thank God. I didn't want to pick the Dodgers. All right, Chris, you got 2 left. Who do you have?
We'll go Cubs.
So you're gonna go Cubs in the Central, okay?
Why?
And we'll go Atlanta.
Oh, it's gonna go Atlanta with the wild card. Oh, you're gonna make friends over there with the people that own this network, I tell you. All right, Tim.
I'm gonna go San Francisco.
San Fran making a wild card, okay.
Oh man, I don't want to say the Cubs. I don't want to say the Cubs, and I sure don't want to say the Pirates or the Reds because that's not going to happen. Give me the Mets.
Oh, he's gonna go with the Mets. All right. I'm gonna take the Mets in the wild card. All right. All right, so let's move over to the AL East. I wasn't sure if we'd have time for this, but we got time. Why not? So last year in the AL, we had, of course, the mighty Yankees winning it. And then after that, it was a battle for most of the year. And I know a lot of people was rooting for Baltimore to kind of leapfrog into the wild card spot. I think if they had another week, I think they would have done it. But Toronto came in second, Tampa third, Baltimore was fourth, and Boston was fifth. So, Chris, in the AL East, who do you got?
We'll go. I hate to say it, but Yankees.
All right. Tim?
The words Yankees and Red Sox will not come out of this mouth.
They just did.
I know. That's the proof of point. Toronto.
Okay. I am also going to go with Toronto. I think that team is so full of second generation players that it's just ridiculous. Chris, do you have a wild card team out of the East here? They had 2 last year.
No.
Tim?
I got 2 coming out.
All right.
I've got the Rays and the Orioles.
Oh. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
Uh-huh.
Keep talking, guys.
All right. So let's go to the next. I can't remember how they finished out, but let's go to the Central. Tim, who do you have winning that one?
I have the Commanders. No, that's the Guardians. I hate the fact that we changed that name. But yeah, the Guardians to win the Central.
Yeah. It is disappointing that they had to change their name, but I'm probably going to go with, since it's early on, it's kind of a pick kind of thing. We'll go with the Royals.
Wow.
All right. Sorry, guys. I'm back.
Wow, the Royals.
All right. So we're you guys are talking the Central there?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let me finish up with the East.
Okay.
My wild card, I'm going to go Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is going to do it.
Tampa Bay's got a good team.
All right. So in the Central, who'd you guys pick?
I got Royals.
He's got the Royals for some
You got
reason.
Royals.
I know. I'm impressed by that.
I am too, because last year it was Cleveland, White Sox, Minnesota, Detroit, and the Royals. Chris is going for some money. He must have some money on these teams.
I don't.
He's got a spare pittance ready to go for it.
All right. So Tim, who are you taking in the Central?
I took the team that I hate the name for, the Guardians.
I gotta say the same thing. I don't like that name. I wish they would have brought back. Cleveland used to be called the Spiders. Why not bring the Spiders back?
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to do this.
Uh-oh.
I gotta go with the Southside team. I gotta go with the White Sox. I just think they're gonna have a new manager, new philosophy. Hopefully, they don't hit home runs on a 3-0 pitch, and launch them into the Mississippi. But hey, that's up. So. All right, do we have a wild card coming out of there?
Minnesota?
Chris is going Minnesota, okay.
I'm going Minnesota too.
Tim's going to Minnesota. Man,
Come on. Make it a clean sweep at the Minnesota.
I gotta think about that for a little.
No, there's no thinking, dude. I took the Carlos Correas, exactly. Minnesota's Carlos Correas.
Let me
what if
think
every
about
team-
that because let's
what
see
if
what
every-
let's see what our topic is because right now Chris's wild card teams are done for. He does not have a wild card team coming up.
Mine are done for.
No,
Yeah.
who'd you pick in the? Oh, so East. Who did you have?
The Rays and the Orioles.
Oh, that's who it was. Okay, Bay. Chris, did you have a wild card team on the East?
No.
Okay, I wrote in the wrong spot. Okay, so Tim is done. All right.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, in the West, guys, who do we have? And if anybody wants to know, Houston won it. Seattle came in second. Angels third. Texas fourth. And Oakland fifth.
Oh, this one's tough.
So, Tim, who
Coach
do you have?
has a question.
What's that?
Oh, Coast to Coast says the Carlos Correa.
Yeah, I saw that. James is saying no wild card on the Central. Man, that's tough. It's going to be tough. But, all right, Tim, who do you have?
Gosh, I hate the Astros. I'm Crispy. I'm gonna steal your move. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna steal your move, and no, it's not gonna be the Oakland Athletics. I'm gonna take the Los Angeles Angels.
Whoa!
Oh wow.
James, somebody's going on the Angels bandwagon. All right. Angels are far and above the other teams in the West.
No, the Astros. The Astros.
Astros,
The
yeah.
Angels, not so much.
Yeah, Astros. Chris?
We'll go Houston.
He's going Houston. Yeah, until they're beat, I gotta go Houston as much as I hate that pick. Chris, you got two wild card teams left. So who are you thinking?
No, I got one. Oh, go for three.
You picked Minnesota. You didn't pick nobody from the East. So
Okay. We'll go Rangers and
I forgot the Rangers.
Seattle.
Tim.
Oh well.
For me, God, I gotta go Seattle. I think Seattle's gonna stick it to them, and this is why I did pick Minnesota because I think the Rangers are gonna have a up and coming season. I gotta go Texas. I gotta go with Chris and go with Texas. I think they're gonna be up there. Outside of that, Minnesota. If there's 4 teams, I could go Minnesota now. Minnesota until they can prove that they can pitch and stick with teams. They're going to be third and looking in on the playoffs. So we got a question here, and I believe I'm starting to figure out who is doing the coast to coast page here. How many games will DeGrom start this year? So Tim, I mean, we talked about it. He started at least 10 to 12 games the last few seasons. So what do you think he's going to start?
Gosh, I don't want to speak ill will of somebody. I'd like to see him start a decent amount of games, at least 26, 27. What do I think he's going to start? 17, 18.
Oh, you're going that high. Okay. I'm going to say right now, I think right now you're looking at about a ballpark of about 15 games.
Yeah.
And out of those 15 games, he probably will go 12-3, 12-0 if he has a couple of rough outings, but he could easily win 12 to 13, 14 games and have one loss, and he'll still miss out on the Cy Young race. But James is chiming in at 12. Coast to Coast to say yes, you do this, the one and only. So yeah, it must be J-Mac behind the books who we confirmed on another show that J-Mac is going to try to pop in once in a while and talk about his beloved Braves, who we have two of us picking to win it in the East. So we won't say who Chris has picked to win, but
let's just say it's not the Braves.
Yeah, it's not the Braves. So last year, fulfilled with a lot of special moments. Tim, us on C2C Rank 'em, we kind of listed off our top 5 per our MLB show. I don't think anything can beat what I saw at the end of the home game for the Cardinals with Wainwright, Molina, and Piazza. Pujols walking off together. Still wish all 3 of them would have retired. It kind of takes away from that moment since Adam Wainwright's coming back. But Tim, what are some moments that you thought kind of topped off the 2022 season?
Me personally, I thought I don't remember what my number 1 was. It might have been Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I think it was.
But Aaron Judge breaking a record that stood since 1961. It's and to do it, and he has so much fun, which is, he hit all those home runs, and everybody ever watched the movie 61 about Maris and Mantle chasing Ruth. Mantle didn't seem like he didn't have to worry about the stress.
Yep.
And then you look at Maris, who couldn't handle the stress. I think Aaron Judge is a lot like Mantle in that aspect, where he was actually having fun chasing instead of dealing with having to deal with stress, which is good that you got a player that can do that. But to me, when Judge broke the record, I think to me it was a huge record, the AL record, Yankee record, one that stood at this point 61 years. 61 years. 61 years and 61. This is it was weird that the numbers were so, how those all seem to work out.
Yeah, James is chiming in and saying Seattle getting the postseason and winning a round was memorable for him. Of course, J Mac from Coast to Coast says what I said, Pujols, Wainwright walking out together. It's going to be a top moment for a while, but I think it took a little notch down when Wainwright said that he was coming back.
Yeah, because we all thought that Wainwright, that all 3 of them were leaving, and we were all under the impression
that would have been one hell of a Hall of Fame class coming up. Because all 3 of them got in.
To be honest, it's still going to be a hell of a Hall of Fame class because of who left after this year. I think it's still going to be fun. It would have been great if they could have just found a way to do it, just like you said during our Rank 'em show, where if you could have just had all 3 of them going at the same time, I think it would have been, and just make it a St. Louis Cardinals deal.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So Chris is back.
Yep.
So Chris, we're just talking 2022. What moment kind of stuck out to you? There's plenty of them.
Probably Pudge's last year or the Aaron Judge home run.
Yeah, Pujols last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even Pujols is going for 700 was big, but Judge as we talked about was a good moment, and I'll still never forget the kid. I think it was at Toronto. I don't know what home run it was 60 or 6. It was 59 or 60, I think. Got hit. The kid missed the ball or didn't get close to it. The guy got the ball and ended up giving it to the kid. And the kid was just in tears. I mean, just like losing his mind. Somebody showed Judge the clip and met the kid either the next day or after the game, I think it was. So that just – and I think he said that ball meant more to him than – and I think Pujols kind of mimicked the same thing too. That ball means more to those guys than it does to me, which – 700 means a lot more to the player in MLB than it would be to the pitcher catching it.
The funny thing is, it's more important. It might not be important to Pujols and it might not be important to Judge, but it sure is important to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And also, too, I think if I remember right, it was either I think it was 61. Now that I think about it, the guy missed the ball. I mean, I think it was. I mean, you just lost $1 billion ball. I mean, how you
How
gonna look
dare
that
you.
one down? But on a side note, well, we'll get to that comment. But on a side note, for memorable moments, and Tim, I brought it up as my top moment, and to me, this will always stick to me. And I think Coast to Coast can relate. James, I know you can relate to it. Is having our friend Callan McClure call an Anaheim Angels game, being called up from the minor leagues. As we all know, Callan does a lot of play-by-play stuff
Hmm.
over in California, and to get that call, to me, being able to say I know somebody that got to go to the show, got to live out their dreams, will always stick into me. And I told Colin, I told a few people, if I was off of work and didn't have a fear of flying, I would have been out at that game celebrating with him. So to
Yeah.
me, on a personal note, that was my top moment of 2022, and that will always be my moment of 2022. So moving on, thoughts on Cabrera. So Cabrera was another one chasing history last year. Thought he was going to retire, come back. I guess, what's your thoughts? Is he hanging around a year too late or what, guys? I mean,
He could have, or it could be, yeah.
Tim?
We're talking about a guy who's walking into the Hall of Fame. I don't think anything he does right now is going to hurt him. The only
he's Hall of Famer.
He's walking in. I think the only thing that saves him is that he don't end up having to play first. He can just play DH. He could just DH. But saying that, he might have stayed a year too long at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're taking up a roster spot.
What's that?
But he's taken up. He could have left, but he's taken up a roster spot that could go to somebody in the minors. But I like Miggy. Miggy's never been a bad guy, even when he was with the Marlins and he's up with the Tigers. I think I like him. He's a good guy.
So I'm just looking here. He's got over 3,000 hits, so he's not. I mean, he's over the threshold there. I mean, 500. I thought he'd have more home runs. I mean, 507. I figured he'd have more, but so I mean, he's not gonna hit 700. I don't think, unless he plays 4 years at the most, possibly. So yeah, I mean, he's just sticking around for the love of the game, I'm guessing. I mean, yeah, he's kind of taking up a roster spot, but again, he's only asked to DH. Who knows? He might pull a Pujols and pitch in a game. I mean, that'd
be cool.
That was kind of funny too when Pujols threw batting practice it was batting practice to the other team and got into the game, and then of course he's the first pitcher to hit hit 700 home runs and throw a home run in a game or something since Babe Ruth or something like that. They're throwing out weird stats, but that's when you tell you're having fun. Cardinals had fun last year because they have Molina and Ray Wright breaking their record. Yeah, Pujols chasing history, and then they go out and throw both of them in back-to-back games and just get shelled. I mean, Cardinals to me were having fun last year, and I gotta say, and I'm not saying Oakland's gonna, blow off records and stuff, but we all know Oakland's moving. I can see that team just going out there and just having fun, making a major league movies moment where they know they're moving. Why not just have fun?
Yeah.
They can put a poster board of Isaiah in the locker room, and for every win they can. I don't know if they want to do that, but so let's talk about Oakland we got a few minutes here. Tim, Oakland A's. We grew up. Oakland was a powerhouse of the AL for many years. Now they're the doghouse, moving most likely to Vegas. What's your thoughts on that?
My first Brewer game in the 80s was against the Oakland A's. Was a 3-game series against the A's. Back when Raleigh Fingers was the closer in Milwaukee.
Who used to be an A?
who used to be an A, won World Series with the A's back with Reggie Jackson and the like. And and the funny thing is, Dusty Baker was an Oakland A on that team.
Yeah.
So it's and Molitor, Yount, and Gantner with the Brewers. But enough about old times. To see a team like Oakland, who's been a powerhouse, when we were growing up with the Bash brothers and Canseco and McGuire and
Ricky Henderson, Dave Stewart,
Carney Lansford, Terry Steinbach. It's weird. Dennis Eckersley. So I don't get the.
I was going to say I'm missing a picture. I know. Eckersley, Bob Welch. I mean,
yeah. It's kind of heartbreaking, to be honest, to see a team like the Oakland Athletics. We joke because we have a friend of ours who's an A's fan and wishes they're the world beaters, but we were there when they were world beaters, and to see the world beaters leaving to go to do what the Oakland Raiders did and possibly go to Las Vegas. It's kind of like a kick in the face. You didn't want to see the Oakland Raiders go outside of California, and it was a kick in the face. Then it's just like we're getting kicked in the face again.
Yep. Now, Chris, I know you're younger than myself and Tim, and you don't know the Oakland A's like we do. I mean, like you said, Ricky Henderson, Canseco. I mean, the most iconic home run, second to Kirby Puckett. No, I'm just kidding. But the most iconic home run hit in a World Series game was Kirk Gibson against the Oakland A's. I mean, now if the A's move like we all assume they're going to, that just takes out. I mean, it's still iconic, don't get me wrong, but there goes half of your history right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me to imagine a MLB season without the A's is just heartbreaking. I mean, I just cannot believe that. I mean, the field itself, a lot of players said the field sucks. The foul lines are, Canseco's come out many times and said he's lost many at-bats for a foul ball that would have been in the stands in most ballparks, and he had outs there in Oakland. So, J-Max chiming in. Speaking of the A's, he saw a stat, and I saw it too. McGuire scored 1,048 runs in his career, and that's pretty much half of those were home runs hit. So, I mean, if McGuire gets on, I mean, it's really himself scoring himself, I guess. But, that being said, guys, what do we think? Opening days, 2 weeks away. We'll have a show next week for sure to kind of fine-tune our predictions. Maybe we'll have a prediction on MVP, coach, team of the year, throw out our World Series predictions. Chris, I can see right now is going to pick Washington and KC to be in the World Series. So put money on that.
Not necessarily.
Hey, we can go another last to first World Series. We haven't had one since '91 when the Twins took down the Braves, but we'll get more into that. But Tim, final thoughts.
To answer J-Max question, 5 no-hitters.
5 no-hitters. Okay. So we got a prediction there of no-hitters. All right. No-hitters of 5. And that's all on the first day, right?
Yep. Opening day.
That would be something.
That's like calling a tie. That's like calling a tie in the NFL.
Yeah.
Not that we can gamble or stuff, and maybe it might be wrong. But what would the odds have to be if somebody's like, I think there's going to be 5 no-hitters thrown in the first day of the MLB season?
You'd be able.
I would throw $1 on that, and I
$1 on that. I guarantee you throw $1 on that, you're a billionaire.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But 5 no-hitters. Since we're on that, man, no-hitters.
Go ahead, Bacon.
So Tim says 5. So we'll put Tim. So
we'll go
Tim
4.
says 5. Chris
go
says
4.
what?
4.
4.
This isn't The Price is Right. You can just go $1 less or $1 more.
The thing is I was gonna go less. I was gonna go less too, and I was gonna say 3. I don't think there's gonna be many.
Here's the funny thing: is we say 5, 4, 3. Next thing you know, by the end of the year, it's 8, 9.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, but at least the thing is they don't have that stupid rule like they did in the COVID year where we're gonna play 7 games, but if it's a no hitter, it doesn't count. Blah blah blah.
You can
Yeah,
get
but one of those rules
I know I
still
wanted
is.
to read something up about World Baseball Classic. I think it was Puerto Rico. Threw the first no-hitter perfect game in World Baseball Classic history a couple of days ago.
Well,
Did
I
you
can't.
see-
Oh,
Did
go
you
ahead.
see? Did you see what happened with the Cubs 2-3 weeks ago, where 6
In the
of them
spring training game?
Yeah, in the spring training game, 6 Cubs pitchers throw a no hitter.
Yep, they're going to hang the banner up on opening day.
Well, it's about as good as a World Series win for them.
Did you hear about?
Yeah, they're going to hang that banner up, and they probably put that ball in a museum and something like that.
I can't remember the team in the World Baseball Classic, but it was a mercy rule.
Really?
I think
Yeah, there's a couple hit this year. They get
Don't say Italy because I ain't gonna be able to.
No.
I'll look it up, make sure.
But it was a mercy rule, and they won the mercy rule on a home run because it was the bottom of the 7th or something. They can't. It's like literally you score 10 runs.
Was that Japan?
I can't remember.
so.
I'll have to look it up. We'll have the information next week. World Baseball Federation brought out more tennis.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah. Okay, Chris.
So it was up by 10, I believe. I
Yeah.
can't see the.
It was like 11-0 game, right?
U.S.
And
win.
it ended on a walk-off because I saw the comments like game ends in a walk-off. I'm like, who had that? It was like 11-0. I'm like walk-off. It was the mercy rule.
Team USA won on a mercy rule 12-1.
Yeah. Trout's finally winning. So. Yeah. So, all right, Tim. Final thoughts.
Well, thank you for you guys. You've done it again for me. I've had a virgin show with. Don't laugh, Chris. It's supposed to be a serious show. I've had let's change the word from virgin to rookie.
Rookie, yes.
I've had a rookie show on Morning Tailgate. I've had a rookie show on deck. I'm excited to be here for the duration. Hopefully in October, it's the Brewers spanking the Rangers in the World Series. I don't see either of that. Don't because I don't even have the Rangers in the playoffs. I don't see it happening, but it'd be nice. But thanks again. Catch Big B and I on Tuesdays for C2C Rankum, where we've got an award type show.
Yes.
Thing.
Yes. One that's going to make us do some homework on. So
no, it's gonna make Big B do homework. To me, it's almost secondary.
Yeah, to me, for this topic, I'm not. I mean, I like what we're going to do, and I've seen stuff but
that sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. It sounds like Mess Around Dave's on telling us about a certain channel, and no, we can't be we can't be saying that. And we've got too many people.
So, all right, Chris, what's going on?
Thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. Baseball season's around the corner. I guess we kind of have a baseball season with the World Baseball Classic, but the World season's coming up soon, and it's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, exactly. So keep tuning us in with all the big movements. Don't be surprised if we have a morning tailgate show here in the next week or two. We'll definitely have one before draft, and we'll have one after draft, so you can pencil those in.
We can talk about Brett Favre Jr. called Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly. But you can definitely pencil in the week of the draft. We'll have a pre-draft show. We'll have a morning tailgate draft recap. Tuesday, along with C2C Rankum, we'll have Between the Ropes. Hopefully I make my return there. Last week, Tim can vouch for it. If you guys saw C2C, you guys can vouch for it too. I sounded like Kermit the Frog, but it was bad. But I had to do my shows. but I did not do Between the Ropes. So hopefully I return Wednesday in the Den with the Cougars, Sports Minute. And then
Mhm.
also Monday nights, Kicking It with Ace and whoever shows up. That's kind of like a roundtable one. And then Four Bros Radio. Yes, we did not have a show last night. J-Mac was under the weather, but definitely we'll be back. We'll talk some guy talk on Four Bros. Tim, as you know, you're always welcome to join. I know it's mid-morning there. You got stuff going on, but if you ever get a chance, you always comment, so that's good. But yeah, and then women's professional football, we're just
Mhm.
about 32 days away from kickoff, I think. So if my math is right, Oregon Cougars. So keep checking us out there. So we got a cornhole league, Eugene Cornhole League coming up. We got another semi-pro team. I don't know the name offhand, but we're all around. So with that being said, I'm Big B, Crispy Bacon, Tim Hendricks. We'll see y'all next week on Deck. Have a good one.